Hello children, good morning everyone. Welcome back. Children, please know whenever we are starting the e-learning classes, please remember that you are surrounded by the teachers who deeply care about you and who are guided by a passion for helping you to reach your potential and who wholeheartedly believe in you every day and always. So with this, let me welcome you children. I am Priya from English Department, Alpha International CBSE School, Bahur. Today I am going to teach you about the poem The Ant and the Cricket. And this poem is adapted from Yusuf's Fables. Now let us talk about the writer Yusuf. So Yusuf Fables or the Yusopica is a collection of fables credited to Yusuf, a slave and storyteller believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 560 and 620 BCE. So Yusuf was a slave who lived in the 6th century BC in ancient period. He was a very smart, resourceful, Greek and inventive man who took themes and ideas from the folklore heritage. It means culture and tradition. Two Yusuf's fables were not written in his lifetime but passed on from mouth to mouth. Finally, a collection of 352 interesting and original works were published. Children, here our writer's name is Yusuf. So only a little is known about the ancient Greek writer named Yusuf. Okay, we don't have so much information about him because he is a 6th century person and we have very little about him, little information about him. So it was said that he had been a slave. He had been a slave who was fighting for his freedom. He just got his freedom through his storytelling. He has a very good skill like storytelling. So he got freedom, he earned his freedom through his storytelling and went on to serve as advisor to a king. It's like a very good promotion being a slave. Once he got the freedom, he became a advisor to a king. So both in name and the enemy's tone of his tales have led some scholars. All these things led some scholars to believe that he might have been Ethiopian in origin. So his stories of clever animals and foolish humans are considered as Western civilization's first morality tales. Understood? So, his stories consist of only animals like floras and faunas as we said. So, these clever animals and the foolish, he always conveys a message to the society. So, he is almost a legendary figure because various attempts were made in ancient times to establish him as an actual personage. So, a huge collection, a very big, very lot of collection of fables. Fables means stories. A huge collection of fables comes under his name as Yusuf's Fables and it is credited to our writer Yusuf. So, children, this is the brief history about the writer Yusuf. So, here we go. The summary of the poem. This poem is about a silly young cricket and an ant. The cricket always used to enjoy the summer season. He didn't plan anything for the future. So on the other hand, the wise ants used to collect food in order to face no problems in winters. So when winter arrives, the cricket couldn't find a small amount of food to eat. So the cricket thinks of going to ant to borrow food and for shelter. The cricket knocked on Ant's door asking for help. The ant gives a very important lesson of life during its conversation with cricket. Ant says that ant neither borrow from somebody nor lend to somebody. So ants are hardworking and thinks of future. So children, this is the soul of the poem. This is a summary of the poem. In this summary, we are going to talk about the ant and the cricket. There was a cricket that sang and danced all through the pleasant months of summer. All his days during summer days, he used to dancing and singing. He used to dance and sing. He used to waste his time without working and planning for the future. So, however, when the winter arrived, now the season comes. When the winter arrived, he became desperate and began to complain. Like he became stressed, he was getting irritated because he has no food and shelter, he don't know where to go. So he started blaming, he began to complain. He hadn't saved anything and there was no food at home. Even in the spaces, even the space also, he don't have any space in his home because of the over chillness of the winter season. And he couldn't find anything that would sustain him, that would regain him. He became worried, not knowing what would become of him, and he decided to go and meet the ant. At last he decided to meet the ant. So neither having food nor shelter, he wanted to meet the ant to seek its help. He know that the ant is very miser. Children, miser means a person who is having more than enough but always interested in having more and more, but he will never share his things with anyone. His main aim is to save only for himself. Understood? So this cricket knows about the misery ant, but whatever it could be, he wants to meet the ant and seek its help. So explaining his situation and circumstances, the cricket requested the ant to give him food and shelter. At last, bending into the knees, he didn't bend into the knees, but at that stage, he went to that stage like begging and requesting the ant to give him food and shelter. So he also told the ant that if the ant refuses, if the ant is not willing to give food or not sharing his place, he will die. He said he would die. He's saying that also like a warning. He said if she's not, like sharing anything, he would die. The ant felt very sorry for him. But told him that ants neither borrowed nor lent. It means they won't borrow from others. And in the same way, they will not lend anything for others also. The ant asked him to sing and dance through the winter too. Here the ant is like teasing the cricket like, oh, you will be always dancing and singing in the summer season. You will not hard work and you will not save anything for the future, right? Yes. Now also in this winter season also you start singing and dancing. This is the way what the ant spoke towards the cricket. And this here the poet ends the poem with the moral that some human beings are like the cricket. Some human beings are like the cricket who will not save anything for the bad weather in the sense for the future. And therefore the tale is not a fable but a truth. Here is the moral of the story. Here he conveys a message that our people also are human beings, some, not all. Some of the humans also will act like a cricketer. They will not plan for the future. They will waste their time during their young. When they are young itself, they have to save the money, but they will not do anything. And later on, they will be borrowing from the others. So this story, this fable, this short story is a very good lesson and it is a bitter truth. So children, what is a fable? Throughout, from the beginning, I was talking about Yusuf's fables. The poem is about the fables, the fable story. All those things I was discussing about this, right? So what is a fable? A fable is a story. It is a short story in which animals behave like humans and they convey a message to the society. So this word, the word fable is derived from the Latin word. And in literature, it is described as a didactic lesson. So these features of the fable are The main features of the fable are: a fable is intended to provide a moral story. Its main aim is to convey a message, a moral to the society. And fables often use animals as the main characters. These short stories, the fables mean short stories, I said, right? And these short stories which we are calling as fables, these fables always have the main characters as animals. Animals will play the main characters in these short stories, and they are presented with the anthropomorphic characteristics such as the ability to speak and to reason. I think you all might know about the fantasy stories, right? Fantasy means the trees will be talking, angels will be there, the animals, plants, everything will be speaking. The same way, the fable means where the animal plays the main role in the place of humans. They used to play, sing, dance, speak, and at the last they will be ending the story with the message. So fables personify the animal characters. It is another name like animal characters which is representing. The animals are representing in the place, they are replacing humans in these stories and convey the message. That is why we call these type of animal short stories as a fable. Understood? Let us start our poem. Stanza 1. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Children, it means here, as we have discussed in the summary, there was a very young and silly cricket. Silly cricket means who always thinks stupid. So he used to spend all his time in singing the warm summer and spring months. So the word accustomed to sing, underline the word accustomed. So accustomed means it is a habit, he is used, his habit is like used to sing all the day. So accustomed means becoming a habit, underline that word. And through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, it means he used to spend all his time in singing in the warm summer and spring months also, and began to complain when he found that not at home means. Here he did not realize, he spent all his time playing and singing and dancing. He did not realize that these months were also not meant for work. These months were also meant for work. He did not know, he did not realize that he has to do hard work. In these months, not only enjoying, he has to save some food or something else for the future. He did not plan that, he did not think of it, he just started singing and playing, dancing and all around thing. Just roaming all around. Understood? So, it's not realizing anything, because with the arrival of winter, finding food would become difficult. He even did not realize that when the winter arrives, the finding food will become difficult. He did not realize that also. Therefore, summer and spring were meant for storing food also. But the cricket spent all the time in vain, means he wasted all the time during the happy months, and now his cupboards were exactly empty. Now his cupboards were totally empty, entirely empty, nothing is there. Now he started complaining that he is not having any food or he is not having shelter, all such things. He started blabbering all these things. Coming to the next thing. Not a crumb to be found, not a crumb to be found. Underline the word crumb. On the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Children, here, the cricket realizes, now the cricket, winter has come and the cricket started realizing that the ground was fully covered with snow. and there was not even a crumb. Crumb means a small piece of bread. Not even a small piece of bread is also there in his house, in his cupboard. Everything is empty and the ground is also covered with snow. He cannot go outside. He cannot see any flowers also. No, not even a flowers or leaves or trees, nothing is there because everything was covered with snow and he could not see any flowers, leaves or trees. And there was actually nothing to eat, even inside the house or outside the house also. Here he became annoyed. Here the cricket became annoyed and he don't know what to eat and how to survive. He was just thinking desperately and not knowing what to eat, how to survive, how to live, how to further go on. And now he is talking to himself like, what will become of me? This is the word, this is a phrase which the cricket is using here. What is that? What will become of me? Is coming to the second stanza. At last, by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant. Children, underline the word famine. Famine means scarcity of food. That means nothing. It is zero. Scarcity means he is having nothing. Shortage of food. Okay. And underline the word miserly. Miserly means, as I said, miserly means a person who is not willing to share his things with others and who always intend to save more and more only for himself and not for others. And this first part of the second stanza, let me explain further stanza. The cricket was starving due to famine. Means the cricket was starving because of the shortage of the food. Hunger and no resources, nothing to sustain himself, nothing is there to keep him strong by himself during these cold months of winter. So there is nothing to make himself warm, or there is nothing to become strong, like by eating something. He has nothing left over in his house. So this is why he was starving due to the famine and hunger. And the winter had taken a toll of his health. He even started becoming ill because of this chillness. He also had no shelter. He didn't even plan for the shelter during the winter time also. Therefore, he set out to meet miserly ant. Set off to meet miserly ant means he planned to go to the miserly ant and to meet him, hoping that the ant may help him with something that would keep him alive. Isn't it? Yes. Next one. And grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow. He would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Starvation and sorrow. So here the cricket approaches the ant now. He set off from its house and started walking, and it reached ant's house. And it approaches the ant to seek his help for shelter and food. The rains made it difficult for the cricket. To protect himself from the wet surroundings. On the way, when he was walking to meet the ant, it was raining and it was totally wet around him, and it is not able to protect himself. The cricket is not able to protect himself from the wet surroundings. He also needed some grains or food. He also needed some grains to balance his hunger and starvation, to maintain his hunger and starvation. He has nothing to eat, right? So he was in need of some grains. He informed the ant that whatever, after reaching the ant, knocking the ant's door, he also informed the ant that whatever help he would take, he would repay it soon. It means like a debt. He is requesting the ant to borrow him something so that he will repay, he will give it back it tomorrow. Otherwise, if the ant is not helping him, if it will not help, he would die of starvation. He says that his end has come and he would die of starvation. This is the way how he is requesting the ant to lend him some, to borrow him some grains and share him some shelter. Right? Okay. Next, stanza 3. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? When the weather was warm, quoth the cricket, not I. Look, here the ant speaks, children. The cricket tells the ant. The cricket is saying all those things. When he said all those things to the ant, the ant feels very sorry for the cricket after listening to him that he is not having food or shelter. It felt very sorry for the cricket. But here this ant is telling the cricket that those ants never borrow nor never lend. It means they will never seek help or they will never give also. Perhaps that is the reason that the ants are self-sufficient and need not go begging. Because of this, that phrase, neither borrow nor lend, because of they will not even borrow or they will not even lend, and because of this reason the ants are self-sufficient and need not to go for begging. The ant asked the cricket if he did not put aside anything in the storage for the winter, if he has not saved anything for the future, during the summer itself he has not stored something for him, right? So here the ant asked the cricket that if he did not put anything, he did not save anything, stored anything for the winter when there is nothing much to be found. And the cricket answered in the negative sense. The ant was quite surprised and shocked. When the ant is questioning the cricket like, why can't you save anything, why can't you store something for the winter season during the summer itself, these questions when the ant was asking, the cricket used some negative words and the ant was also quite surprised and shocked. And let us see what was that. Okay. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. Go then, say the ant. You sang, sir, you say. Go then, says the ant, and dance winter away. And dance winter away. The cricket is telling that after, even in this condition also, the cricket is saying that he was so happy. Then what did he say? He was so happy during the happy months of summer and he sang day and night. He was just telling proudly that he was singing day and night during the summer season. He was so happy and the nature looked so pleasant that he forgot all about the winter or the difficult times. Look how happy he is telling that he was very happy since during the summer season he was playing, singing and dancing it seems, and because of the pleasant look of those nature he forgot it seems. He forgot all about the future, it means about the winter, and now he is suffering here. Hearing this, after listening to these words, The ant told him that now he should spend the winter also singing and dancing too. As he said those words, the ant said these words after listening to that. What did the ant say? Okay, sir, you were singing and dancing all over during the summer season, right? So now also you start singing and dancing in the winter also. Now also you dance too, sir. This is the way how the ant spoke. And the ant tells the cricket that there is no point crying over spilt milk. Spilt milk means if once the milk falls on the ground, there is no use of crying. We cannot get it back. The same way, after losing everything with his carelessness, with his ignorance, now crying for food and shelter is of no use. This is what our ant said to the cricket. So coming to the last stanza, stanza 4. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. So these are the final lines of the poem. The poet shares the moral or lesson with his readers. So the ant gets irritated listening to the cricket's words. So the ant gets irritated and asks the cricket to leave from its place. He don't want to waste its time talking to this careless cricket. This ant does not like the lazy people, right? So it got irritated and asked the cricket to just leave its place. And those who do not wish to help themselves cannot be saved by others. These are the last words which we have to concentrate here. Those who do not wish to help themselves, those who are not willing to help themselves, like wasting their precious time, they cannot be saved by others. So later in the future, even if they need help also, nobody will help them. This is the thing, what is that? And the poet in the final couplet of the poem, the poet in the last 2 lines are there, right? In these last 2 lines of the poem, he tells his readers, it means he tells us that though this tale, though this fable, though this story is believed to be a fable, even though it is a fable like with some 2 insects, even though it's a story with some 2 insects talking, a conversation between the 2 insects, it is not just a fable, it's not just a story, it is the truth. Here he strongly presses his point that it is the truth. The poet calls this the truth. Why? Because what is true for the 4-legged cricket is also true for the 2-legged humans. See the last line, children, some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. Those some, some means humans. Here he is representing the humans. He is comparing some of the humans with the crickets. Some crickets are careless. Some crickets with 4 legs are careless. The same way some humans who is having 2 legs are also have the same ignorance and they waste their precious young age and they suffer in their old age. And this was the message which is conveyed by the writer in this stanza 4. And here is the moral of the poem, children. The ant and the cricket. The moral of the poem, the ant and the cricket, is that if we did not work hard today, we can't have a happy life tomorrow. As in the poem, the cricket just sung day and night in the summer, but the ants did hard work the day and night. So now in the winter, the cricket is dying of hunger and the ants are living happily. So the moral is what? We should enjoy our happy moments. In the same way, we should not ignore our future also. Careful planning is very essential for everyone and it ensures a secure future also. So when we are young, we must spend our time working and planning for the future. This is the best message conveyed in this poem, conveyed in this fable. So with this, we are ending the lesson, children. Once the lesson is over, from the next slide itself, I have given the classwork content also in the slide. So actually we are sending the PDF format for classwork, right? So now also we will send the PDF format. On the other hand, we have typed some classwork content like synonyms and questions, other textual part. Here are those things in the next 3 slides. You just copy these things in your classwork note with a neat handwriting. And once the poem is over after this session, start reading the synonyms and question answers. It would be better after reading you can just write a home test. And I will just send you a homework message in WhatsApp. What will be the home test and what you have to write. Okay, children? So thanks a lot and thank you for listening to your teacher in this e-learning, and hope you will be safe at home. And this is Priya signing off from Alpha International CBSE School, Bahur. Thank you guys. Bye.